Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of What's in the Box. Today we are taking a look at a couple of superchargers. Starpath, take two. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of What's in the Box. Today we are taking a look at a couple of supercharger games for the Atari 2600, Dragonstomper and Communist Mutants from Space. So with that, let's jump right in. First, we have Communist Mutants from Space, which is one of the most colorfully titled and just designed games for the 2600, or really any system when you think about it. Now, the supercharger games were on cassette and required an extra piece of hardware. So there's that. It was a little more expensive and a little rarer than your typical 2600 game, but still fairly accessible. The manuals came in this wonderful little envelope here. And here is the Communist Mutants from Space manual. Yeah. Nothing too fancy in there, some limited warranty cards, and there's a shot of the Starpath supercharger. And we have the catalog for their games for the system. Just nice and spread out, so you want to take a look at some of the other games there. And a special poster for only $3.50. Hard to beat that. And last two. Now up next we have Dragonstomper, which is kind of a creepy guy hiding in the armor there. And here we go, we got the cassette for it. And the manual. Let's see if there's anything interesting in here. Not really a whole lot there. And just look at those graphics. All right, so now we are going to jump into a brief review of both, so enjoy. Dragonstomper has two major things going for it. For starters, it is one of the earliest examples of a fully fleshed out RPG on a console. And secondly, it has arguably the greatest story of any game on the 2600. Paraphrasing from the manual here, an evil druid has a magic amulet that he thought would allow him to control a dragon and grant him the ability to rule the kingdom. When approaching the dragon, the druid fell into a trap, causing him to drop the amulet into the clutches of the dragon. The power of the amulet turns this ordinary dragon into an evil magic-using genius. With his newfound power, the dragon casts spells that destroy crops, creates quicksand traps throughout the land, and creates an army of creatures to attack any and all who cross their paths. These creatures include scorpions, slimes, maniacs, and my personal favorite, demented monkeys. After all of the king's knights have been destroyed, the task of saving the kingdom falls to you, the Dragonstomper. The quest is broken up into three areas: the enchanted countryside, the oppressed village, and the dragon's cave. The world for the enchanted countryside is huge and includes a wide variety of places to visit. Unfortunately, every single place, with the exception of a single church, is locked up tight. To make the situation even worse, the only way to open them up is by finding a key, which is drops from enemies. This is made more difficult by the fact the fights are all random encounters, and that even the most basic of enemy can totally wreck you. The fights are traditional turn-based, where you and your enemy politely let the other attack before launching your own offensive strike. You start out with nothing more than your fist, and unless you get incredibly lucky, you will probably die multiple times before you get the opportunity to pick up an actual weapon. If you are fortunate enough to survive a few encounters and receive some favorable item drops, there is a relatively large world for you to explore. If you can overlook the simplistic graphics, I mean, your character is nothing more than a dot and all the battles are text-based, for example, and you don't mind the soul-destroying difficulty level, there is some good old-school RPG goodness to be found here. Even if RPGs aren't your thing, you should still check it out to see far ahead of the time this was. This is, without a doubt, in the conversation for the best name for a video game ever. This high-quality Galaga clone has one of the greatest titles and setups in video game history. The ruler of the planet Ruski has created the Mother Creature, who uses irradiated vodka to transform the slaves they have procured from conquered, peaceful planets into vicious, bloodthirsty communist mutants. Now they have set their sights on your planet, and it's up to you and only you to defend it from the space-based Red Menace. Before you begin your spirited defense of your homeworld, you must pick between 9 levels of difficulty, as well as deciding if you want to go into battle with any of 4 potential ship upgrades. Be careful when selecting a difficulty level, because if you go too high, the game will lay waste to you. The potential power-ups are Shield, Time Warp, Guided Missiles, and Penetrating Fire. Hardcore players will want to bypass all of these, as having them equipped makes defeating the waves of commies incredibly easy, while beginning or casual players may want to take on 1 or 2 to make life easier. The shield is activated by pulling back on the controller and giving you a few seconds of invulnerability, which is great when you're facing a deluge of bullets. The Time Warp is one of the cooler power-ups as it causes the action to slow down for a few seconds, giving you an opportunity to escape imminent death or to pick off a few enemies. The Guided Missile option is just what it sounds like, allowing you to move your shot left and right. The Penetrating Fire possesses the most game-breaking ability as it allows your shots to reach the top of the screen while killing everything in its path. This makes taking out the mother creature incredibly easy, not to mention taking out an entire row of mutants with a single shot. Once you make those choices, it's time to begin the battle. At the top of the screen, there are 4 rows of eggs and a mother creature that moves back and forth. The eggs will randomly hatch and fire upon you, with some of them making dive-bombing runs while others merely hover above you. If you're able to dodge the kamikazes, then they are gone for good, at least until the mother creature lays an egg to replace them. This happens whenever an enemy either goes off screen or is shot out of the sky. So your main focus at the start of every level is to take out the mother. After you've successfully taken out everything on screen, you're rewarded with a flag and an extra life. Then it's on to the next level, which is identical to the one you just finished. With so many gameplay options and difficulty levels, Communist Mutants from Space is a shining example of the genre that will challenge even the hardest of the hardcore. Alright, hey, hope you enjoyed the video, this look inside the box, and the reviews. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time around.